And I think speaking of that trade, that trade request, we also have the almost trade that never happened because it was submitted 1 minute too late. Matthew Knies going to Montreal for
Yep.
Zurikowski, another prospect, top prospect. We don't know who that prospect would have been, and then 2 first round picks. So this got released a couple of days ago by David Pagnotta, and then it got confirmed by Elliot Freeman too. So what do you think about that trade? We're both Leaf fans here, so how would you have felt about that if that went through?
Yeah. I mean, sort of like mixed feelings about it because I love Matthew Knies. Like Matthew Knies is a dog, right? And like we've said it before, like you got to keep the dogs. Don't get rid
Oh
of the
yeah,
dogs. You got rid of Kadri. Everyone's like, you got rid of the dog. You wouldn't win a cup, right?
yeah.
Not the same type of player, but the point remains. So I love Matthew Knies. He's young. He's on a great contract. He's very talented. He's got the right attitude, and there are he's sort of a rare breed nowadays of players
Oh,
who
he
are
definitely is, 100%.
that physical and big and that much of like a physical force, but also like that skilled, right? With like that type of offensive ceiling. So I would be a little bit torn about it. The return, however, is pretty good, right? I mean, that's a good prospect you're getting in return. We don't know who the other one was, like you said,
Yeah,
and
we,
then
we
two
we do know that it
firsts.
wasn't Michael Hage.
Yes, we
That
know it
was
wasn't Hage.
confirmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, that is still a pretty healthy return. Um, I did also hear that I can't remember what's the name of Montreal's GM, but he told Brad, he said, if you're not fired by the end of the season,
You're not fired. He knew he was getting
then
fired.
yeah, if you're not fired by the end of the season,
Yeah.
then you have to keep your word and make this trade in the off season.
Well, thank God he got fired because now we're free. We can decide to make this trade, yes or no, afterwards with a new GM. But
Yeah,
so Zervkovsky also he this year he was the rookie of the year, I believe, in the KHL. So he's definitely a very high level prospect. He's a
yeah,
guy that probably could be playing for the Leafs or well now Montreal um, this year and next year and be a very good player in the future. And then 2 first round picks. Obviously, you don't know what those are going to be, but those have value in themselves. And another top prospect. I mean, it does feel like a lot of people are saying it's an overpay for Matthew Knies. I understand why people feel that way, but I think what you pointed to earlier is why people maybe kind of so surprised by how much they're willing to pay because a guy like Matthew Knies is very hard to get. Right, a guy that plays the way he plays, the physicality and the size and the scoring ability is very, very, very rare. There's not a lot of guys in the NHL that can do what he does, and we've seen teams that are successful recently have players like him on their teams. And you think about what he would do for this Montreal team right now, he would boost them like a lot, right?
yeah. Montreal is a little undersized too. Like they could have
Yeah,
used
definitely.
a
And you
bigger
have
guy
you
like
like and
Knies.
having him and Slavkovsky
Yeah, that's a power
running.
forward duel
That's
right there.
I don't think they play
Yeah.
together. I think they would just run on different lines.
No,
And
but I
you
mean,
would like
just
how
being
you
able to have them
yeah.
just on the same team, right? Like that's a handful for defensemen to deal with, right? Having
Oh,
those guys
definitely,
just coming at you every
definitely.
shift.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, of course, like it's the contract. Like he's on a really good deal.
Yeah.
With how much the cap is going to go up, he's getting paid less than 8 million. 7.75, I think, is what his contract is.
Mm-hmm.
Around that for 6 years, six more years, I believe.
Yeah, this year was the first year of his deal, I believe. So
Yeah, or
six more.
maybe it's 5 more.
I,
I think it was a 6 year deal.
I thought it was a 7. But either
Anyways,
way,
point being is
long term. He's
lots
got
of term,
Yeah.
very cheap number, young player who's not even in his prime yet, who plays a super physical, you know, and it's a scoring winger. Like I understand why Montreal is willing to give up that much for him. And actually, if you ask me, I'm kind of glad it didn't go through. As crazy as that sounds, much people may say that I'm a biased Leaf fan. For the exact reasons I just said, like I just don't know how easy it is to get a guy like him, right?
Yep.
Like you make that trade and you may be like wishing for another 30 years that you had another Knies. I know that's exaggeration, of course. Like I'm sure you can get a guy like Knies is not like Connor McDavid here, but point being is like you look at this team now going into this season. Like I'm glad we have Knies and not a couple of prospects and picks.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of my take on it. Like that being said, if the trade went through, I wouldn't be super upset. Like it's a good return. It is a good return.
Yeah.
So
I
like
wouldn't have been upset either,
yeah.
but
And I think Montreal fans may have been a little bit like turned off by how much they had to give up for Knies, but they definitely would have been very happy with the player they would have gotten for sure. And who knows? Maybe they have Knies this year and they beat Carolina. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. You never know.
He's definitely a big impact for sure. Having him on your top six would have made a big difference, 100%. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's not like it's impossible for them to revisit the trade. I don't think they will.
I
I
don't
think
think
this
so
is
either.
a new management group. I don't think they're looking towards trading away their best players for prospects and picks at this moment.
Yeah.
Especially considering that Matthews is, I think, committed for the next for next year. But
GMs hate when shit like that gets leaked out too.
yeah,
Like once a trade gets leaked out, that can kill a trade sometimes
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah,
I would be very surprised if this is a deal that gets done in the offseason.
yeah, me too. I would be very surprised as
Yeah.
well. So, speaking of the Leafs too, I want to talk about a little bit of these head coaching rumors.
Some interesting names popping up. Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick Waugh and Peter Laviolette got interviewed as part of their round one of coaching interviews this week. And then also, we just heard today that Joe Pavelski is getting interviewed as well.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe you want to start off with Waugh and Laviolette because they're two very different kind of guys, I think, in some ways, as far as like coaches, and then we can talk about Pavelski. What do you think about those two guys?
Yeah. I mean, like they're both. Well, actually, Laviolette is a proven coach. He's
He's
been around. He's won a cup.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was a while ago, but still, he's won a cup. He's coached a lot of teams. Wall isn't a rookie either. You know, I think he's got like around like 6 NHL seasons under his belt. He coached who did he coach? Colorado. Yeah, he coached Colorado for a few years. Took a break. Then he's been coaching the Islanders, and you know, like the Islanders haven't been very good, but I don't know if you can really blame Wall for that. Like they haven't really had a good roster for him to coach. So like it's
the interesting thing though I will say about the Waugh is he's very different than Berube. He's a much more offensive minded head coach. So I think you would see a lot more of what Leaf fans have been wanting as far as like Matthews goes and deployment is that. That being said, they were one of the worst teams defensively last year. So I don't know, bringing a guy like that in, how does that affect the team defensively?
Well, they were also.
I guess they can't get much worse.
They were one of the worst teams defensively with a defensive minded coach.
It's true.
So
yeah, no, I don't think it's necessarily like the coaching that's going to affect the defense 100%. They need to get better defensive players. Period.
Yeah, they need to get Morgan Rielly off of the first pairing.
Yeah, so I mean,
I love Morgan Rielly. I've been a Morgan Rielly fan for a long time. You know, he's from BC like us, but it's time to move on.
Yeah, I mean
that's a whole other topic we can get into another time. Yeah. But yeah, I think for his sake and for like our sake, like it's just time.
Yeah, and then I think that Laviolette feels like a very safe hire.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's a veteran. Like this is what I'm talking about. Does he get me really excited? No. Does he fill the job? Yes. Right. And who knows? Like maybe he works out really well with the team. I'm not sure. I'm not like super well versed in coaches and stuff. No. And then like I was saying last week, well actually we'll talk about that later because let's focus on Toronto first with Joe Pavelski. Yeah. Because that's an interesting one.
That's exciting. That's an exciting name. Like that's like, oh, this Joe Pavelski. Like, when did he retire? Like a year ago? Like,
yeah, I think it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah. Either way, super recent, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely an interesting one. We don't really know exactly what he would bring as a head coach.
No, we don't. The only people that are going to know that is some people who were in the room talking to him with the interviews, like Chaika. But the interesting thing with that is that's like kind of the opposite of hiring Laviolette. It's the more risky approach. You're trying to bring in like what I was talking about, which is what I've been wanting them to do is hopefully bring in some more of like a younger mind, someone who was just playing in the NHL, someone who may be able to like have new ideas on the team. So I'm definitely open to it. I don't know if I'm like in love with it but that being said, like it's kind of reminds you of St. Louis and Montreal. It's kind of a similar kind of if that was the hire, right? Like it's what are we gonna get? We don't really know. I mean, I saw someone say, oh yeah, he coaches his kids out in he's living in I don't even know where he's living, somewhere in like northeastern states. I'm like, hey, well, he's coaching his fucking kids hockey like youth team. Who cares? That's like I could coach a youth hockey team. Yeah, I don't see why that's relevant. But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting potential hire. I would be very intrigued if the Leafs did hire him. I'd be excited, but I'd also be kind of worried they fucking did something really stupid. So I guess we'll see how this continues to develop. From what I've heard is that, which is a good thing, is that Chaika and the rest of the group there, they want to be very thorough with this process. They don't want to hire somebody like just like on a whim or just the first guy that they think is good, they want to get everybody through and hear everybody's opinion, everybody's plan.
Yeah.
And then go through another round of coaching. And then, so I think they're going to be, I think we probably won't see a hire in the next couple of weeks. Maybe we do because the draft is coming close and maybe they want to get a coach in before that. I wouldn't be shocked if they do hire one, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they continue to draw this process out.
Yeah,
find the guy they really, really want and like, which is a good thing. Like,
I would rather them do that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have a coach by then, but like, if it takes longer, it's worth it, man. It's worth the wait. Right?
And this is what they said. This is what they said they were gonna do. They said they were gonna, really, really look at everyone who's out there and see who do they like the most. So I like that they're actually doing what they said they were gonna do.
Yep,
it's good to see that as well. Right.